Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a dedicated review for a recent read of mine, and that is Melmoth by Sarah Perry. It's actually the first of Sarah Perry's books that I've read, and just because I feel like the synopsis written here gives it a better description of the story in itself, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly read that to you before I begin on my thoughts. So, 20 years ago, Helen Franklin did something she cannot forgive herself for, and she has spent every day since barricading herself against its memory. But the sheltered life she has crafted for herself is about to change. A strange manuscript has come into her possession. Its contents has the power to unravel every strand of her fragile safety net. It is filled with testimonies from the darkest chapters of human history, which all record sightings of a tall, silent woman in black, with unblinking eyes and bleeding feet. Melmoth, the loneliest being in the world. Condemned to walk the earth forever, she tries to beguile the guilty and lure them away from a lifetime wandering alongside her. Everyone that Melmoth seeks out must make a choice, to live with what they've done or be led into the darkness. Despite her scepticism, Helen can't stop reading or shake the feeling that someone or something is watching her. As her past finally catches up with her, she too must choose which path to take. Exquisitely written and gripping until the very last page, this is a masterpiece of moral complexity, asking us profound questions about mercy, redemption, how to make the best of our conflicted world. I've got to say, this particular edition is absolutely stunning. End pages look gorgeous. The quality of the paper as well is really nice. I got this one at Waterstones. Apparently it's a special edition with a personal essay from the author, and if you want to see how it looks naked, it looks like so. It's just black all around there, but it's got a gorgeous feather in gold and writing in gold on the spine as well. So I thought I'd just quickly show you the beauty of it. It also comes with a nice little red ribbon bookmark, which is dangling down here. So I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. Say that Melmoth is like a modern day gothic literature, taking the route obviously of literary fiction genre, which is something that I try to read in a more critical way, because it's almost like our modern day equivalent of classic in my opinion, but it just shows you how cruel the world can be, as well as going into a deeper look into specific character studies, specifically of our main character Helen, but also of the characters we meet on the way as well. It's got this melancholy sort of feel that kind of makes me have to remember that this is present day, because there were times specifically when we were reading parts like the Hoffman document, even though it wasn't too far past and there were scenarios where it was in the past, but it's not really too far in our human history past, if that makes any sense. It just has this gothic literature feel that makes me think it's older than it is. I think that's a really fascinating writing style. I don't know if that's just Perry's particular style or if this is just how she was trying to make this story feel, because it does have that sort of old legend sort of tale twist to it, if that makes sense, and I feel like that sort of writing really benefited it. But as I say, I did have to kind of come back and be like, hold on, this isn't that long ago, most of this is happening now. I need to remind myself that we are in the present before I get thrown away and sort of lost in the past, you know? Yeah, it does have that sort of vintage feel to it, that flavour, which again is something quite unique. I've not really read anything like that before. If I have, it actually has been set in that time zone, so yeah, just thought it'd be interesting to note. I will say, for the rest of the writing style, it's got this strange sort of take for me, because it feels like when I get into it, it flows so beautifully, it's so lyrical, but at the same time, when I sort of catch myself thinking about the writing style, that's when it pushes me out and it's like a brick wall, and it's like I have to read a few sentences over again, because it is so unique to me. I've not really read anything like that before, so because it was unique to me and it was obviously a different style, I sort of stalled a bit every now and then, but again, once I got into it, it flowed so beautifully. I think I probably would just have to read a few more of her books, and if she writes like this across the board, then it will be a writing style I can eventually say that I really love. It just takes me a little bit of time to fully get engrossed in it, I suppose. But the actual idea of Melmoth as this being, this legend, this character was really interesting. I thought it was awesome that it had like sort of basis and roots in religion. It just took it to that extra level, and the fact that you see this character visiting everybody of all different walks of life. It's got its toes dipped in every part of the world. Everyone sort of fears this woman that's come to witness all the bad that has happened in the world, and she's coming to ask you to come with her and join her to see the further bad that's happening to the world. I just think it was a really interesting concept. Again, something I've never heard of before. So it had that haunting aspect, something that made me feel like tingly, like, oh, is this real? So yeah, I feel like Sarah Perry really has a knack for, well, what I've learned from reading this book, she really has a knack for creating this beautifully haunting, atmospheric world. Oh, it just carries itself so beautifully. It's one of those books that it's not scary in the typical sense, like with jump scares and stuff like that. It more kind of creeps into your bones. It gives you chills, goosebumps. It makes you think you've seen something at the corner of your eye when perhaps you haven't. And it definitely made me get a bit, it gave me some funny dreams, but it made me put it down at night. I felt like I couldn't read it on some nights because it creeps into the recesses of your mind and makes you a little bit more jumpy, shall we say. So if you did want to know any of my spoilery thoughts, I have a written review on Goodreads. You're more than welcome to have a look at that. If you've read the book yourself, you can go on that, discuss with me what you think. But yeah, I'm just going to mention that I'm leaving spoilers out of this. But in terms of actual like characters that we're following mainly Helen, as I mentioned in the synopsis. She was an interesting character. This sort of self-punishment that she's wrapped herself up in, that she feels like she can't enjoy life because of this weighted thing that she's done, which you don't find out obviously until much later in the story. Once you find that out, you kind of feel like, oh, I kind of understand why you'd be torturing yourself like this, but at the same time you've got this life, live it. It was sad to see that she had to do that to herself, but you can perhaps understand why your own sins, if you will, would make you want to punish yourself if you've not been punished by authority. There were some scenes that I thought would actually make a really awesome film. The whole air of this felt like it could be an awesome film, but there's a particular scene, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's to do with the theatre, and it's near the end part of the book. Something happens and it's almost like this trippy experience, almost like an out-of-body experience, but not. If you've read it, hopefully you know what I'm talking about, but I just couldn't help but envision that scene by scene, thinking, wow, that would make an amazing moment in a film. So if it does get right, I really hope that they can portray the atmosphere and tension that this book has, and that weird, chilling, creepy tones that it has as well, without being like, I guess, aggressively jump scary, if you know what I mean. Like, if they had the right producer, director, whatever, it could be an amazing film. So overall, I'm really impressed by this book. I'm impressed by the writing of Sarah Perry. I would like to go back and read The Essex Serpent. I think she's got a few other books, if I remember correctly, I'm not too sure, but Essex Serpent is something, again, I definitely want to go back to and check out. Melmoth I would recommend for even people that don't like horror, because as I say, it's not that traditional horror, it's like a gothic literature suspense, creepy, you know, it's not gonna scare you too much. I'm a wimp, I'm a wuss, I get frightened very easily, and I'd say I could handle it. I liked the amount of scare that it gave me, but yeah, I'm so glad that I managed to read this. I devoured it, totally would recommend it, and yeah, thank you for watching. I'll speak to you in another video soon. Bye.